Stephanie Labe from Crossing Crown Lutheran Church in Rancho Cucamonga, California. But today I'm in Corona in my home, and many of us are. We're on quarantine these days, and so some of us are at home a lot, and some of us are still going out to work, and either way, it can be a stressful time. So I've been talking some lately about watching over your own attitude and making sure that you are in good mental health and that you're doing okay, not only physically, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually, which of course does affect your physical health. You know, we know that our mood and our attitudes and our sense of joy and happiness, they do affect our immune system and keep us a little bit more strong and capable, even if we do get a disease. And so we want to protect ourselves as much as we can. I think that it's very understandable for people to think that it's just such an incredibly stressful and difficult time. And yet it also is amazing because when I talk to people with COVID, and I have two very, one's a very close friend and one is somebody I'm getting to know better. Two people that I'm talking to more these days about what they're going through with COVID, and both of them are in incredibly good spirits for what they're going through. Now, of course, they don't want to be sick. They wish they weren't, but still the spirits seem high, and there's just not a lot of complaining about what's going on with them. So that shows us that circumstances don't have to necessarily affect our mood. Often they do, but they don't necessarily have to. I also have a relative that's a very high-ranking governmental official, and she's been serving in the military and the government for decades, all over the world, but part of the U.S. military. And more than anybody I know, she could be complaining all the time about politics, government, the state of the nation, political infighting, all kinds of polarization or whatever. She never, ever, ever says a word of complaint about the nation. She gets very busy with her energy and engages herself in massive service toward people of the nation. So I don't think that we have to necessarily complain about what we're going through. But the first step, I believe, is to be compassionate toward ourselves if this is a very difficult time for you personally. There's no shame in saying I'm having a really hard time these days. There's no shame in saying this is very stressful, or I'm scared, or I'm angry, or any emotion under the sun. There's no shame in that. And if we feel something and push it away from us or insist that we're bad if we have that feeling, it'll just probably stay and get worse. So if we can care for ourselves and one another and accept each other with a whole lot of grace, then that's a really good start. But after that, if you're interested in changing your attitude, if you're interested in turning your mood around, it often doesn't happen all at once because we develop momentum in our attitudes or what we're thinking about. So, if you see a downhill skier that catches a patch of ice and they go, tumbling over themselves down the hill, it wouldn't do a lot of good for you to yell at that person to stop, because they've gained momentum, and they're probably going faster than if they had just barely gotten out of step. And that is like us with our emotions and our perceptions of things. If we let anger build, or if we let despair build, or cynicism, or whatever the emotion we feel, that will gain momentum. It also, though, goes in the other direction. If we let gratitude build, if we let joy build, if we find reasons to be happy, if we find interesting projects and things that we're energized about, that also can gain momentum. So what I've found helps me is to begin to turn just in little increments toward what I want to be. I had mentioned on my video last week that I was really sick a while ago because I had just been really meditating. I didn't even really realize that I was as much, but I was really meditating on the pain that people are feeling from COVID. Particularly, I'm imagining, because I do a lot of funerals, I'm imagining people putting their family members like literally in the ground, and all of the grief that that would build up. So I would imagine all of these grieving families and all of the loss and all of the pain and all of the lives cut short, and that just built and gained momentum. And so and then of course we had like, racial tensions and protests around that, and I was meditating on the pain and suffering people would go through. So I had all of this momentum built, and so I couldn't just quickly, turn it around to like be happy, because that's just putting on a persona and being fake. That's just like wearing a mask. So what helps me is to make small turns, things that I'm grateful for, people that I love and that love me, family and friends that are there for me and that I can turn to. Even my dogs, they're always uplifting creatures to have around. And the more I did that, the more things that I looked for to be grateful for. I wasn't like overnight, ecstatically joyful or anything. But I found that the more I did that consciously, deliberately, then the more each day my attitude got better and better and better. I'm still aware, obviously. It's like right in front of us, of the people that are dying. And I'm still conscious of the pain that much of the nation and much of the world is going through. But I don't have that sense that it's affecting my attitude now. I feel much more energized, able to create some things that can maybe be in the service of people. I can be more there for people. I just have more to give with a better perspective. And that comes from just those small incremental changes to look for what is good and the massive amount of well-being that really is in the world. It's not all pain and suffering. I mean, the planet is still spinning on its axis, and we still have enough drinking water. And, we can look for those things that are really good. Now, this coming Sunday, in Sunday's sermon, I will give more examples of things that one can do, very practical tips that I've learned along the way. Some are kind of like, daily things, and some more are lifestyle changes. These are not things that anybody has to do. God loves you no matter what. And if you're going to be angry or depressed or afraid or cynical, God's still going to love you just the same. It's not, your love of God, from God, is not dependent on your attitude. But it certainly feels better to feel better. So, and then you can probably have a little bit more energy and peace and joy to give others. So tune in to this video, this channel, not this video, but the worship one, this coming Sunday for more detailed possible things you can do that might help you in your keeping your attitude strong and healthy, and being the best you can be for yourself, your own benefit, but also to benefit others around you as well. Have a wonderful day. I pray for you. I ask you to pray for me. We're in this together, and I really do think we will get through this and come out the other side stronger and maybe more peaceful and joyful and gentle with each other than we've ever been before. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.